right, and welcome back to Week 3, Day 1 of the HCS Pro League Fall Season. I'm Enigma6, and joined with me at the Xfinity desk, once again, Tom T-Squared Taylor.
Those were some awesome clips there, and hopefully we see some more great games today. It's going to be such an insane battle today. All the teams so evenly matched here in Week 3.
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting action in store, and last week was the craziest week that we've had so far here in Pro League. Now, of course, with the Pro League, it does run in conjunction here with the Open Circuit. Now, of course, if you ever want to make your way into the Open Circuit, into the Pro League, you have to compete through the Open Circuit to make it there. Now, we just had Week 2 end now, and let's take a quick look at the standings and the teams that we have in the Open Circuit here. Of course, in first place is Threes Up, followed up by Elite Four.
Yeah, that's going to be Prototype and Stray Six Squad, obviously. These two teams are going to be battling it out. Elevate, I think they're sitting around 5th place, so expecting them to bounce back. But still a couple of weeks to be played, and then the Esports Arena tournament coming up right around the corner.
And, of course, let's take a look at the standings here as well from the week. And, you know, lots of crazy action just going on.
Sure was.
5-way tie here for first place.
Well, it's a 3-way tie right now for first place. Team Envy, Optic, Evil Geniuses, and then you see that 3-way tie, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So E6, they're going to try to get a win today against an Allegiance squad that's lost a handful of Game 5 so far. And Allegiance, they're trying to stay away from relegations, and they don't want to be in that same conversation as LOL because they've had such strong performances. As you can see, 47% win percentage on the maps, and that's more than Luminosity.
Yeah, I mean, these standings here to see where we are in the fall season as opposed to the summer season, it's crazy the level of competition and how much more action and close games that we're seeing. You know, keeping in mind, if you look at Allegiance at that 7th spot, you know, they're the closest team to being 4-0 right now. You know, essentially being 4-0, if they had 10 more kills total, counting all those Game 5s, they would be 4-0, our number 1 seed.
Yeah, and likewise with Evil Geniuses playing extremely well so far, but we also have an interview that we're stoked about.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a little special treat today for anybody that's been watching. Of course, Maniac did recently announce his retirement. He's stepping away from competitive Halo. He was formerly on Optic, formerly on LOL. And
Believe the Hype.
And
as
Believe
well.
the Hype. Yeah, he's on a lot of success in his career as well. He was a Halo 3 national champion.
2009.
He won some other smaller events as well. And, you know, as far as the teams he's been on, what was it? Believe the Hype, 4 or 5 years or something ridiculous. And then transitioning over to Optic Gaming, where he served, you know, essentially the rest of his time competing.
Yeah, a handful of top 8 finishes, been competing for a pretty long time. I believe his wins are 2009 national champion and then also the Halo 2 Invitational that ESL held in 2014. I believe that was around October. So.
And you competed against him there.
Yeah, we ended up getting 2nd place there. It was me, Roy, Straight Sick, and Ryanoob with Walshy coaching, and that was a really fun tournament.
It was. I remember watching that one. Now, of course, we'll have Maniac on here in just a couple of minutes while we get him set up. But, you know, speaking about the teams in the standings that we have currently right now, of course, it was, I misspoke earlier, 3-way tie for first after the end of last week. But, you know, considering a lot of these matches and teams in those top spots are going to be battling out against each other. So we're going to see a lot of standings change here at the end of today.
Yeah, and I think that the most interesting thing about talking about changes is that there wasn't any team changes and that there's the roster transaction period, which is now open, and I believe it's open for a couple more weeks. And this is where things are going to get really interesting because everyone's going to wait until the very last second, just like they always do, to make any, you know, given changes that they want to do. If anyone was making a change right now, I believe they're only allowed 1 change. So people are going to make sure that they're not trying to, you know, make a change and then regret it later and then see someone else makes a change. I mean, it could get crazy. Who knows if, you know, a team like Evil Geniuses or Envy or even Optic Gaming, if they start to lose and kind of go on a run, maybe these other teams like Luminosity goes on a run. Who knows what's going to happen? But we could see half of the teams potentially changing, and they may not necessarily have to because right now everything is so competitive. So it's going to be an interesting couple of days and weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be exciting to take a look and see how this all unfolds. Now, while we get set up for that interview, I want to take a quick look and discuss our match of the week here, as this is the biggest match that we've had, you know, essentially the biggest match of the week that we have ever had in Pro League, and that's when Optic Gaming, number 2 seed, is going to be battling it out against number 1 Team Envious here at the current time.
Yeah, and we had a really great match of the week last week between Envious and then Evil Geniuses, and then this one's going to be very similar to that Optic Gaming or the old CLG going up against EG when right around that X Games time. That's the kind of rivalry that we're going to be seeing here, and there's going to be a handful of teams that are going to be going for that number 1 spot here. And again, that we've talked about how this isn't that race for second place anymore. There are actually teams that can hang with this new Optic Gaming squad. Envious is that team that was formed with Hook, with Pistola, Mikwin, Snipe Down to go and compete against these guys and try to take that championship home.
I mean, and this was the team, we've talked about it before, that was essentially designed to take down this Optic Gaming squad. This match that we're going to have, our series number 2, is going to be the match that everyone has been looking most forward to during the off-season roster changes as well. Before that team was even locked in, there were some, rumors going around that Hook and Snipe Down were going to join up with Team Envious. Nothing was locked in for a while, but once all the contract details were worked out, this squad was formed. We were all a little worried after week 1, watching them have such a lackluster performance against Liquid, but what we know now is Liquid is actually a really strong squad, and Team Envious bounced back.
Yeah, and if you keep track of the actual scores, it's interesting to see how the matchups play and how certain teams play better on certain days, and they match up against certain teams a little bit better. So it's all about how you match up against Optic Gaming, though, because that's a team that you're going to want to beat in the long run. So you can say, okay, Envious versus EG, that's an important matchup to get to that Optic Gaming squad, but everyone wants to, and like you said, they formed this team specifically to beat these guys, and that's because they have the slang power to compete with this Optic Gaming squad. Optic Gaming has such strong slayers in Royal 2. They have Frosty, then you have objective players like Snakebite. You have someone that can do it all in lethal, so you're going to need to outslay them and get people that can fill those certain positions and roles, and that's exactly what they did, like you said, just trying to put together all the ingredients, like the guys in EU earlier today talking about cakes and bake-offs and things like that. I'm not sure what the equivalent of that is over here in the United States. We pretty much, I just watch video games in sports. That's all I watch. No cooking shows.
It's the best thing that you can do as well. Now, of course, we do have a lot more action besides just this match of the week here today. Let's take a quick look at tonight's matches and see which teams are going to be facing off here tonight. Now, our very first match is Enigma6 going up against Allegiance, followed up by that match of the week we were just discussing. We will have LOL battle Team Liquid for another exciting match, followed up by another really great one. Evil Geniuses going up against Luminosity.
Yeah, all these matches are fantastic. I didn't think that they would continue to get better and better as the weeks go on, but that's exactly what's happening. I can't imagine a more competitive round of games today. We saw 2 3-2s reverse sweeps last week, and then we saw 2 3-0s as well. I'm not expecting any 3-0s today. Definitely going to be 3-1, 3-2. Every single match from E6 to Allegiance being pretty evenly matched. Optic Gaming and Envious are match of the week. LOL and Liquid, the 2 teams that were at the bottom last season facing relegation, they're now facing off here. And then you have Evil Geniuses going up against Luminosity as well. Luminosity trying to bounce back after a rough week last week.
All right, so of course, Optic Gaming versus Team Envious. I did put out a poll on that. It is heavily in favor of Optic Gaming. Now, if you had to choose a second match that we might see go to those Game 5s or a neck-and-neck battle, which match series are you going to pick?
Well, it's probably going to be Allegiance because they're the kings of going to Game 5, but I would like to see Evil Geniuses and Luminosity to go to Game 5 because I want to see Luminosity play at their best. I think that they have what it takes. They prove it in scrims. They proved it a little bit here in the Pro League. Just, again, a really rough week for them last week, going up against the Evil Geniuses squad that has, they've looked extremely well. There's no other way to put it. They're 3-1. They have the Xfinity Center, the practice center, the training facility, whatever it's called, and they're going to be, going up against this Luminosity squad, feeling very confident for sure.
Right. Now, there are a couple things that we want to address as well. Keep in mind that Optic Gaming was formerly known as CLG, and they did have skins in the game as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now that Optic Gaming has picked up Counterlogic Gaming or ex-Counterlogic Gaming squad, those skins are actually not going to be available any longer after October 4th.
So they're available now, but they're going to be no longer available after 10/4. So get them while they're hot, guys. It's like the McRib. It's not going to last very long. Get it while it's hot. It's better than the McRib, though, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of these players rocking the CLG skins, and I've noticed a lot of people on opposing teams going up against Optic have actually been busting out some of those
Head
skins as
games.
well.
Straight ripping skins. We want the straight ripping skins.
That would be something else. See maybe some of those old school lineups
That'd
come
be
back in
awesome.
some of those skins, some of
Yeah.
the best that were
I
ever
know
created.
Maniac wants some Believe the Hype skins, and that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would do believe the hype skin. That was a really solid squad of relatively unknown players, and they came out and actually won a national championship. You know, beating us, beating Triggers Down, beating some of these powerhouse teams that were always at that first and second spot.
Mhm.
I told Maniac the other day, talking to him, that of course, it was a fluke. We all know that, but
Of
they
course.
still had a really good tournament.
It was. Everyone gets lucky once in a while. Every dog has his day, as they say.
All right, now of course, Team Allegiance going up against Enigma6. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at this match a little bit more in depth here. You see Enigma6, we already know some of the internal struggles that they have been having within their team, or internal problems. And of course, that lineup, Kratos, Boo Boo Doo Stellar, the question mark of where he's going to end up here over the next couple of days or weeks. And then of course, Suspector, who bounced over to Enigma6 from Evil Geniuses during the offseason.
Yeah, and let's take a little bit more in-depth run here. You can see Kratos and Suspector finish second at HWC together, and Kratos and Boo Boo Doo Boo have been teaming together for a while now and string together consistent top 4 finishes. Kratos, one of the highest earning prize money winners for Halo 5 thus far, and definitely expecting him and Boo Boo Doo Boo to stick it out. Again, I would like to see this entire squad stick together here. I think that all of the teams, I don't think any necessary changes are going to be needed to take down Optic Gaming, but the players know a little bit better than me. They're dealing with all the politics that go behind the scenes and taking a look at Allegiance. Contra, Devin, Falcated, and Shooter. And Shooter, he talked about how their Game 5 losses that they've had have been really coming back and affecting them. Now, it's a brand new week here. Hopefully they can get it together. Maybe not try to bring it to 5 games, because if it does go to that, it's going to be sitting in the back of their mind.
I mean, yeah, let's talk about those Game 5s a little bit more. Of course, they have played Evil Geniuses. They played Luminosity and Liquid.
Yeah, and 2 of the games they've lost by 1 kill. The other one they've lost by 8. So it's, like you said, it's been about 10 kills for them, and they could be 4-0. So this isn't going to be as easy as it looks for E6, and something to keep in mind is that this Allegiance squad is very good at strongholds. I believe they only dropped 1 stronghold so far in this entire fall season, so definitely keep that in mind.
Right, so we talked about 10 kill differential here, and one of the kind of interesting statistics is that 45-44 victories that we've seen as Allegiance lost to Liquid, 45-44, and then we also had Luminosity lose to Evil Geniuses, 45-44 as well. So kind of funny to see some of those games working out that way.
Yeah, and it's very well that these Slayers that we see here, E6 loves to slow it down. Allegiance has been in a handful of Game 5, so we may have opportunities to go and grab snacks, as I like to say, in between here, but we'll see the game types eventually, and we'll be able to see who has the advantage from there.
Yeah, I mean, why don't we go ahead and take a quick look at some of those game types here. Now, of course, this is going to be after the veto process. These are going to be the game types we are left over with. We are looking at a Game 1, the Rig Strongholds, followed up by a Plaza Slayer. Game 3, Coliseum CTF, and should we need to go to Games 4 and 5, Empire Strongholds and Coliseum Slayer.
So again, we were talking about last week how each of these teams will play each other twice throughout this fall season, and the maps will be 2 strongholds on the first round or the second round, and then it's going to be 2 CTFs. So when it comes to this potential series here, Allegiance is going to have a good chance here. It's, again, they're very good at strongholds. They have the rig. They have Empire coming up. We've seen them play pretty well in all of these game types so far. So again, I think that this is pretty solid here going out for Allegiance, but these are maps that E6 are very solid as well, especially Plaza Slayer.
All right, now with Game 1 being the Rig Strongholds, we'll take a look here in a minute at some of these vetoes and see which team is attacking and going after, the game types. Are you vetoing the other team or opposing team's best game types, or are you vetoing your worst game types? It's always a conversation you need to have internally when you are strategizing out these matches and deciding, which game types you ultimately want to try and fall onto.
Yeah, or are you just basing it off the scrims as well, because some of the teams haven't played each other quite yet and they have scrimmed against each other, so maybe their coaches are looking at past games played there. When people play these entire intense series and play every single game type, you start to see how you've matched up against that specific team. So a lot of mind games going in here to get those 5 maps that you've just seen.
Now let's take a look at those specific vetoes here and see how it actually all worked out. Now, of course, Enigma6 comes out and bans Plaza, followed up by an Eden ban by Allegiance. and now an Empire, once again by Enigma6, and that's going to result in the rig here.
Yeah, so Empire was banned out by E6, then it's actually being played in Game 4. So that's something to keep in mind is, was Allegiance comfortable with that? And E6 wasn't, and that's why they banned it, and ended up showing later on in Game 4. So with that being said, you probably look over that and be like, all right, maybe Allegiance a little bit more comfortable than E6 on that specific map. But again, I do think this is a really great opportunity for Allegiance to come in, especially since they have those two strongholds, and try to take games from E6. But again, we've seen a lot of Game 5s coming from these guys. Even if it is 2-0 for Allegiance, E6, they're great at coming back from and doing these reverse sweeps. So this should be a great series.
Now, I do like that first ban by Enigma6. We've seen, especially Predevinator and Contra, have a lot of success on Plaza Strongholds. Of course, this Allegiance squad, a little bit of a different lineup, but that was the squad that came back from that 60-point deficit against Evil Geniuses to actually defeat them at 98-38 and a spree to come back and win. Yeah,
one of the things that both Contra and Devin do very well, their play styles are great for locking down positions, and that's what Strongholds is all about, is having, snipe control, making sure that you're just locking down that specific position, getting S4, getting control of that nest, and then like having your teammates set up around you just based off that, and you'll see Contra continually going into that power position, and everyone just kind of, following suit after that. And when you have players, for example, like Shooter, that's going to go in there and get the dirty work done, then that's going to, give you a big advantage. And another thing that we didn't touch base on is this is a little bit of a rivalry going on necessarily between this E6 squad that Shooter used to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at the old Enigma6 squad. That was the team that got second at the summer finals,
season,
right?
Yeah.
They also got second at Worlds, but
under
different squad lineups with a lot of the similar players.
Well, these players were playing under this org, so it's kind of weird to see how everything's necessarily panning out.
Unless you're following week by week, it definitely is sometimes hard, a little difficult to keep track of some of the team changes, some of the organization moves. Especially finals where we had Cloud9 come in for just one event. Before they ended up leaving there as well. So a lot of exciting action, but, Enigma6, they did get second at the summer finals. Shooter was on that squad, and, you only want to improve, and it's hard to go up when you're already in second. There's only one spot to take, and that's going to be from Optic.
Well, eventually what happens is you have people that sit in that second, third. Envy was the third place team. They lost in Game 7. So then you have those type of people, McWin, Ola, what do they want to do? They want to feel like they want to move up. So then they go and take Hook from that second place team. And then you go and you have Snipe Down, who's in the top fantasy stats. And you say, okay, this is going to be the team that we're going to form to win. And based off the play styles and what we've seen so far, they do stand a chance. But there are a handful of teams, even these teams that are sitting at 2-2, even Allegiance sitting at 1-3, they have a chance to make their way up towards this top 4.
All right, now we've got these players set up in the game. We're going to chat with Maniac here right after this series here before we jump into the next one. But we're going to kick this off with Shooter. He is ex-member of Enigma6 and is looking to exact some revenge on his former team.
Yeah, so he's already shot down the camouflage. Looks like he's going to try to capture the space, but does have a player that came behind him from that barrels area, and it looks like the other players are going to make their way over towards that nest. So they got to clear out that guy over towards that barrels area. Drops down on Stellar, who's made his way over towards the shotgun area. Another player is going to get that assassination. Looks like that was the camo guy over there. I think that was Kratos. So everyone really focusing on getting out of that BR area for the side of E6 and making their way over towards that carbine area, and that's exactly what you want to do. Unfortunately for them, Allegiance played this blue side very well. You don't want to, if you're on the blue side, you don't want to overextend, and you want to just make sure that you get that nest, and make sure you capture the basement, and then just play it from there. Try to eliminate the camo guy, try to get the railgun in your hand. So this is a perfect start for Allegiance.
Yeah, this is a great opening strategy. They got the shotgun off the start, they got nest control and basement, they killed the railgun player, but wow, great trade by Suspector. It's about all he could do in that situation. Trading with a power weapon player is always, pretty good for your team, especially if no one's able to pick up that weapon and put it back to use. This is going to give Enigma6 a chance to recapture this stronghold, and you do have Allegiance now focusing on BR base. It looks like no one from Enigma6 will be able to contest, but they just essentially traded the map.
Yeah, that was a big trade on the railgun guy, and that's a good start though for Allegiance nonetheless, getting the 19-point lead to start. yeah, it's starting to dwindle, but they're going to have a couple of pushes here before it's going to be a little bit too out of hand. So you just need to reset here, get everyone spawning over in the BR area, and just have some sort of push here, but making sure that you're just pushing on the same side. This is going to be hard, though, because you have really nice positioning coming out from Suspector. They finally take Suspector out, but they have to deal with Boobadooboo, who has this shotgun in perfect position.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of pressure here on Boobadoobu's shoulders to stay alive. When Suspector dies, that's going to put a number advantage in Enigma6's hands, and that is going to be the opportunity you want to push across the map. Now, it looks like nobody was able to really capitalize. You do have Suspector coming up off spawn, but Stellar tries to push Tower 2 and contest with his new railgun, but that's going to go in the hands of Shooter.
And this is a really important time. Railgun coming up, camo coming up here soon. So you can't afford on the side of Allegiance to give any more map positioning to E6 because they have the perfect setup here in Strongholds. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a triple cap, but you don't even need that triple cap here, especially on this map. All you have to do is sit back and play what you have. So nice job by Sheer getting the kill on the camo guy. It was burned by Kratos, but this is all you have. All you have is that railgun, and you have nothing else. No more camouflage. You do have some good spawns here, but it's going to be pretty difficult unless everyone gets this barrels push, and that's just not going to happen. E6 getting a couple trades. Unless Sheer does something miraculous here with the railgun, it's going to be very, very tough for Allegiance.
Yeah, he's got to be careful of these barrels here. We've seen many players die in this exact position before. Now, I do like what Allegiance is doing. They're playing it slow, trying to move through the outside or barrel side of the map, but this is one of the slowest games I've seen here on Rick.
Well, you don't want to give up this railgun, and it sucks because you're just slowly getting choked out like a boa constrictor, and they're just continuing to build on their lead. All that time just spent towards trying to make your way over there, and you get taken out in the long run. That has to be frustrating for Shooter and the Allegiance squad. He distracted enough for Contra to rotate over there, but he's going to have to get everyone out of that BR base for the side of E6. And either way, E6, they're still in great position here. They're going to easily be able to take that nest back, but Devin has the shotgun, gets 2 kills. That's going to be really good for them, and they're able to get the basement. So Devin coming up clutch is going to reset the map here in Allegiance's favor. Now it's up to E6 to come back.
Good look, all of Allegiance is spawning outside the map, exactly where you want to be here in this position. It's up to Enigma6 to get another kill before they're able to push out. You see on your screen there, Falcated is contesting and trying to keep these players away from Nest. Spectre grabs a kill, however, so this is a good opportunity. Kratos tries to push in, but a little bit too early. Doesn't have any help from his teammates, and he dies.
Yeah, once you give up that first death and the numbers game goes into Allegiance's favor, they just start to collapse, and this is the opportunity they have to put tons of pressure on the BR base, but for some reason, no one was watching the BR base, so a little bit too distracted on those players coming from that snipe and barrel side of the map. Need to make sure that you're watching that and anchoring that side if you're Devin. So camouflage coming up here soon. They're going to try to focus on getting that railgun as well. Oh no!
Oh my
Suicide
God,
in his own grenade.
That was his splitter that he jumped off to throw into Whitehall.
Feels bad, man.
And runs into it with the shotgun, and Camo is up right now as well. That's up at
play.
740. That is not a good thing to do, especially on stream.
And Stellar grabs that camouflage. That was such a momentum swing for the side of E6. It's the most crucial time of the game. Halfway through point, right when both of the power-ups come up and the power weapons, and you give that away for free.
That was some Summit 1G action right there, if I've ever seen it before, the first time in Halo. And he wasn't being contested or being pressured by anyone from Enigma6. That was just pure misplay.
Yeah, and now the triple cap in effect, and you have to stop the bleeding here. Comes with a basement push here for Falcade and the rest of this Allegiance squad. Should be able to get this one here, but E6 not going to care too much because they'll just be able to get the slays and retake that one whenever they need. And someone on the side of Allegiance realized, I can't stay over here and capture the BR base. I need to go over here and help Falcade because this basement is so important, and E6 is all spread out. Again, they're just going to wait for these guys and get the slays, go right back in, so they're not necessarily even worried about that take.
And there was a triple cap momentarily for Enigma6, but Allegiance does what they can to try to stop the bleeding here. Contra's trying to get some nades. He knows there's a player hiding up on the ledge around the corner, but it's just backing down. You do have a new railgun spawning in about 25 seconds here. You can see that through Contra's eyes. Whether or not they're going to try to make a push before that weapon comes up or just delay and wait for it, it's going to a lot depend on what opportunities they find here trying to kill any of these Enigma6 members. You see Kratos playing really aggressive and gets taken out. Now that's going to be an opportunity. You know, as soon as you have that numbers advantage, you got to abuse it. Suspector clutching it up.
That was huge. That's pretty much game. Kratos can just sit here and anchor this and has to get Falcated out, has 2 nades, and this is why everyone wants to prioritize Nest. Look at how easy that grenade is. Look at how free these kills are. Everyone has to go and push up. You have to clamor, just letting free shots go in, getting your shields taken down. Stellar doesn't even need to be in this position. He needs to just make sure that they're capturing and securing the nest, and that's going to be pretty much game, and they get that final player out, and this is going to be game 1 going over to E6.
Let's take a look at some of these kills, because this was a very low kill count game. It looked like both teams just, setting up, staying back, and, trying to make good opportunities to make pushes across the map to regain control, but just too little too late. Look how low the captures are, when yesterday we were seeing, like 13 captures out of some players, where it's a non-stop back and forth battle.
Yeah, a lot of teams, just set up at that base. They get the basement, they get the nest. That's all you have to do. You don't have to worry about the BR base. Just let them come to you, hold those weapons. We saw 2 big game-changing plays coming out. We saw Devin commit suicide with his own splinter grenade pulling the 1G, and then we also saw the trade on the railgun guy when the setup was for Allegiance. And I'm not sure who had the railgun in that instance, but those were the 2 really, and that was the play right there where Devin ended up walking into his own grenades. So those were the 2 big plays coming out that made this pretty much go in E6's favor. Nothing miraculous, just basic, strategies here, pro player strategies coming out from these teams. Very nice execution from both of them. I don't think that there was anybody necessarily, Shooter had 3 kills, but that was just because he had to slow play it with that railgun, had to wait for his teammates to come in. You have to really count on your teammates to fill the areas in the map. Maybe rotate over there with the snipe when he had the railgun, but not much that you can do there if you're Allegiance. Just have to move on to the next game.
Yeah, I liked a lot of the things they were doing in that game, trying to slow down the pace of the game, create opportunities, use teamwork, but every time they found themselves with the advantage, it looks like they just threw it away too quickly. Whether or not it was a player that immediately charged for nest or immediately charged for basement, but they always put themselves in a bad position where they were double teamed by players in carbine or back rail. So either way, every time they had those opportunities, they just kind of misplayed on the execution, trying to regain control.
I like their beginning strat. They started with a 19-0 lead. They got the basement, they got the nest, and that's exactly what you want to do. Make sure you spawn blue base, you get that free, you spawn at the carbine or the BR, whatever you want to call it, but you get that corner spawn. You just send 2 guys to basement, grab the shotgun, shoot down the camo, grenade the camo, and all you have to do is worry about the railgun guy coming over towards basement. Meanwhile, the other 2 guys go right for the nest, and that's exactly what they did. So they had the good start, but they lost 100 to 34, so they were only able to get, what, like 15 more seconds after that? That's just not going to be enough.
Yeah, after starting out with shotgun and railgun, only being able to grab another 15 seconds the rest of the game is not how you're going to be able to win. You're not going to be able to beat Enigma6, and you're definitely not going to be able to beat any of these squads like NVEG or Optic as well with that kind of strategy or formula there. They definitely need to reevaluate what they were doing on that game type. And, this is a team, especially with Falcated on it, that I feel like does not like to play that really slow-paced game, and it just looked like they were uncomfortable and allowed E6 to play their game.
Yeah, that's E6's style. They like to slow it down, and that's just strongholds in general. Both of these teams, all of these teams here in the Pro League know how to play strongholds. You can't afford to give up any type of mistakes, and I was surprised, though, how punished they got for their mistakes. Only 2 necessarily detrimental plays that ended up resulting in a 134 loss. That just is hats off to E6 for how well they were able to execute their setups.
Yeah, I mean, and we pointed out that Predevinator example. Anytime that's happening to you in a game, you're either off your game a little bit, or things just aren't working out.
It's just the timing. Yeah, it's just the timing. It's just a bad day. It's like stubbing your toe right when you get out of bed or something like that. But we've seen that from Allegiance. That's why they lose these game 5s by 1 or 2 kills, because they end up grenading one of their teammates or hitting him with a plasma caster or falling off the map, something like that. And it's just like, those are things that you can't do. It's like missing a free throw in basketball, or just, making a fumble in football. It's like those type of things you can't have happen here, especially, when we're playing at such a high level.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another reason to keep in mind that it's never over till it's over. You need to always grind out the entire time, because whether or not someone on your team or you yourself clutches it, or someone on the other team starts choking hardcore, either way, the game is never over till it's over. Always a chance for those epic comebacks.
So it looks like E6 is going to be pushing over here. They send 2 players yards so they can get one over there towards that top gold area to secure this overshield. Nice charge in here from Stellar. Needs to make sure he doesn't get ninja. Picks up a double kill, and that's a nice aggressive start here. Let's see if they were able to actually secure the overshield. Allegiance jumping out to a quick little lead and also securing the snipe side. So instead of going over towards the overshield, they allocated the resource over towards the snipe side. And when you have someone like Contra with awesome aim, that's exactly what you want to do. And there's the overshield player. That's going to be Bubu making his way over towards that hotel area. Contra said, I'm getting out of here, man. We have a green gun guy over there in that flowers area that's going to be able to help. And here comes the collapse, though, from E6.
Oh, good job by Kratos. Actually getting some damage done on these players in the yard, but backing down. Also like what you were seeing out of Contra with these sniper rotations. We talked about the importance of just controlling the weapon. And now, just like that, the overshield player, no more OS for you as Contra picks up a quick body shot. We got a 5-2 lead after the first minutes of both of these teams, just like we saw in that Strongholds rig, are playing this really slowly.
You can tell that Allegiance has practiced this beginning strategy from the blue side to get Contra the sniper, get it out of that sniper area and bring it over towards the cafe and set up. Bubu with the sneaky play though, making his way and clambering up onto the awning and then pieces out with the sniper rifle. And it's only 3-5 here, a minute and 20 seconds in. So that strategy now for Allegiance is going to be broken, and now it's up to E6 to execute just like they did on the rig.
I mean, and you just had Allegiance with control with this sniper rifle, allow a player to sneak by, pick up a kill, grab the weapon, and escape no shield. So that was a big misplay here by Allegiance, giving Enigma6 that opportunity to jump right back into this one. Bubu not wasting any time, already grabs one headshot.
Yeah, this is the scary thing is Overshield's coming up here and you don't have anyone in position for the Allegiance side. Nice player sneaks around. Contra though gets his dome taken off by Bubu. Sick no scope there. And this is exactly where you want to hold with the sniper. Another body shot going into Bubu looking for the double kill. With that Overshield coming up here again, E6 picking up those kills in prime position here to build on this lead a little bit.
And great awareness here by Bubu, knowing exactly where Enigma6 is going to be spawning after those kills there. He knows there's players over by loop. They have eyes over towards yard and immediately retreats back over to sniper side, knowing players are going to spawn over here by cafe and trying to contest.
Yeah, he's getting pinched here because a couple of his teammates have died. I'm not sure what happened with the Overshield, but he's definitely going to need someone with Overshield on his team to make their moves over here towards that top center area. Maybe have a player rotate over towards that posters. I think he only has one more shot left in that sniper rifle, but this new sniper rifle is going to be coming up eventually, so he's just going to want to hold this area. You can see that coming up in 20 seconds. So you don't want to forfeit the map positioning here, and you just want to try to play a little bait and switch move here with your teammates, and that's going to be Stellar pushing in there. He gets shut down from Devin, so I do like what Bubu's doing. It may seem like he's baiting his teammates a little bit too hard here, but keep in mind that Snipes is coming up, and that's why you saw a Shooter rotate over there towards the nest area.
All right, let's take a quick look here at Shooter as he picks up a quick melee, gets another kill, and escapes. Now we still have a lead over here now for Enigma6. I like the positioning that we're seeing. Sniper rifle still up. Nobody's actually even picked that up, and just now you see that little green shape disappear from your screen. That's going to show that they, in fact, do have it back. It looks like it is Cody that is picking that up here as well. So let's take back a look here through Contra's eyes. He's able to put the sniper to use again.
Yeah, Contra rotating to the same exact spot he was before, but he does have two other teammates here, so I don't know if he just feels really comfortable in this spot or if it was just a little bit of miscommunication, but you do have a little bit too many players over there, so you see everyone starts to rotate here, everyone using their radar, crouching. Positional advantage is in the favor of E6 because they have the height advantage, and you can see they're getting even more height advantage there by clambering up to S4. And this is good though, because you have good bait and switch here coming in from Contra, as long as you don't get flanked from behind. And as you can see, Bubu getting a double kill because they were in that positional advantage. And here comes the collapse. Everyone knows that he has a sniper in there, so perfect job by E6 not giving up any kills.
And Bubu's already got the sniper rifle back in his hands now. He's got a lot of kills this one. 8 and 1 so far this game, +7 while only leading by 4. Bubu is on fire to start off week 3.
Yeah, and you can just tell that he's confident in every single way that he's moving around the map. He knows where his teammates are going to go. He's not panicking. Just plays so calm, lining up that headshot. That's going to be 3 dead now. E6, they're in really prime shape to make their way for this, make a nice little run here and try to go up 2-0 in the series.
Now, Contra does get a kill bottom center on Suspector. He's starting to move around the map. He does get spotted out just now by Bubu, who almost did it. But Contra, as you can see, with the perfect shots to grab that kill, now will be taken out by Kratos here. His bottom snipe lift does get hit with the nade, as you can tell by the hit markers. But that sniper rifle is going back over to an E6.
Yeah, Allegiance, they do have good positioning here. They do have sniper control, but they don't have the sniper rifle in their hands. So E6 can just do what Allegiance was doing to them earlier and just go over towards the glass, go top gold with the sniper and just get picks. With the Overshield not coming up right now, it's not that big of a deal to not have snipe control, so they're not too worried. Trading kills here is not going to matter too much. They have to actually get the sniper rifle out of their hands and get some sort of setup here, especially with the Overshield coming in.
And everyone just dying here from Allegiance, and this lead starting to grow even quicker. The players are essentially trapped over near a sniper's spawn. You can see Ryan, our shooter there, trying to get some shots across the map. Does a good job of evading and staying alive. Suspector does see now 3 people over on this side of the map. Immediately going to try to find a new location as Kratos also dies. You know, I'd like to see him push all the way over to glass here. It's only a matter of time before Allegiance starts pushing up the top golden to contest yard.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. He realizes that he has to back up here because the same position that he was in is just as good as this one here, and you have more opportunity to escape just in case people will send, just in case Allegiance will send numerous people. So he does eventually rotate over here towards the glass to bait this new sniper rifle, and look at the plasma grenades that are coming out. That's actually going to should blow the ammo back if they lined it up right. You can actually grenade that sniper rifle back almost all the way towards the glass. It falls towards that loop area. So that's something to keep in mind if you are an up-and-coming aspiring player watching this one. Grab those plasma grenades over there by that bottom Prius area. And this is just perfect play from Suspector. Rotated all the way across the map to get into the most powerful position now.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a big misplay from Allegiance. Like, I like what they're doing, using the teamwork, working together, but they're just giving Enigma6 all the information that they need. And as far as positioning goes, they're not in any kind of danger.
Well, he saw all 4 players go to yard. So if you say, hey, all 4 are in yard, that's the easiest call out in the world, and you have so much information that you can rotate wherever you want, and Suspector elects to go to the most powerful position with the most powerful weapon.
Yeah, you have some teammates that are like fighting 2 people in yard and be like, oh, they're all here, they're all in yard, and then there's only 2 players. But no, they're literally all 4 players were just in yard. No exaggeration there. The entire rest of the map is up for grabs.
Yeah, and you're going to have some sort of push here for Allegiance, and it looks like it's going to be a loop push, but Suspector just crouching off radar, waiting for everyone to come in, gets 1 player over towards the nest, takes another player down, no shields. Such free shots coming in for Suspector based on his positioning, so such a smart play to not even peek out until all of the players pushed out to into the open of the map.
Right now, good amount of time here before the next overshield is going to come up. Still a healthy lead for Enigma6, but Allegiance doing all they can to stay in this one. Great shots by Suspector. Actually picks up the kill once again here on Predevinator. Leads again a little bit larger. Contra, good job of finishing off this kill here. Battles Stellar, but is forced to back down.
This is all it's been for Allegiance, has been trade of kills. Pretty much an 8-kill lead for E6 the entire game. They need to get some sort of positional advantage here. They have to get the overshield, they have to get the sniper rifle. Otherwise, you're just going to be getting in these pistol and assault rifle battles. Yeah, you may get a miraculous kill even if you're no shields, but you're going to get cleaned up eventually, and that's exactly what I'm talking about in these trading kill situations. If you're E6, you're happy to do so.
All right, now Stellar trying to get some new angles here to try and contest, help out his team. Looks like the majority of them are pushing through loop, going over to contest yard. So that's going to leave a lot of snipe tower, real estate there up for grabs. Predevinator just kind of crouching behind this wall, trying to watch for players sneaking up. Doesn't spot Stellar, but yet again, just another trade. Not what going to be what will win you the game.
And Falcon is trying to make a loop push here, but realizes that they only have 9 more kills before E6 is going to walk away with this one. This is huge, though. Now they need to collapse on Stellar, who's stuck over here at the snipe tower. They need to get the sniper rifle, which is coming up here shortly, and this could be their opportunity to come back into this one, but Kratos getting a kill on a Contra over there towards the loop is not going to help the cause.
All right, now I like what we're seeing out of Falcated here. He does have players on his radar. Storm Rifle, extremely powerful up-close weapon. Kratos, rather than contesting, he does see 2 players there, decides to run away, tries to put his back in a position where he might have some shots coming over his shoulder to help contest here. Works out in his favor as he picks up a quick trade. Now, looks like Overshield players are still over here at loop. Once again, just another trade. Still 8-kill lead for Enigma6, and this is looking pretty scary.
This is exactly what's happening the entire time. This one's going to end 50-42. It's been an 8-kill lead for E6 the entire time. Allegiance hasn't been able to string together any type of killing sprees or consistent kills in a row to bring it back. You can see Devin sitting at 5 and 13. Pretty much the difference when it comes to the stats here in that 8-kill lead. So definitely looking for him to step it up in this next game. But the way this one's going, I don't see any more hope for Allegiance.
And looking at Enigma6, just all pushing up towards Cafe, and the rest of Allegiance, they're all kind of spread out across the map, crouching around, trying to, catch players from Enigma6 off guard, but E6 isn't playing that game. They're playing around, moving together. They've constantly had power weapons, and just like that,
making it look easy. I mean, they're making it look easy. Those 2 kills, just like bloop, bloop, 2 kills, double kill, end the game. I mean, they played that very well. E6, this isn't Allegiance playing bad by any way, shape, or form. This is just E6 flawlessly executing their strategies. We saw Allegiance with a fantastic start to this one, Boo coming in there, killing the sniper rifle guy and escaping no shields. That's just not acceptable for the Allegiance squad. You have to at least kill that guy, get the sniper rifle out of his hands, and then he starts off 8-1, and you lose by, what, 11 kills? That's huge.
Now, it looks like both of these teams, essentially what's happening, they're both trying to play the exact same game. Now, of course, there's things that work, things that don't work when you decide, what kind of strategy you're playing, the pace of the game, the routes you're taking, the setups you have. But it really looks like E6 and Allegiance are playing a very similar strategy, but E6 is just better at it. So
yeah,
Allegiance needs to change up what they're doing.
E6, again, they're just executing better, and I wouldn't doubt that these guys play very similar because they have, again, players from similar teams. They've played under similar organizations before. The E6 squad was Allegiance beforehand, so it's not surprising that these guys mimic each other when they come to playing. It's just that E6 is individually playing better, especially when you look at how Boo was playing those situations compared to Contra. Contra, he was over there with that sniper rifle and did the same thing and repeated that twice in a row. I would like to see him stick over there towards that snipe side and not be caught over there with two other of his teammates. If he could have just sat over there, yeah, you're in a position where it's a 2-on-2, you have the sniper rifle in your hands, you're gonna have to hit a good shot, but it's something that he's fully capable of. And if you're Allegiance, you have to, just come back here, refresh, start with the CTF Coliseum game that we're about to see, because they're going to be moving into Empire Strongholds, which they're actually, in my opinion, a favorite in. So we could see a Game 5 here, but obviously it's going to be over if E6 continues to play like this.
Yeah, I mean, Allegiance, you have to give them the benefit of the doubt when it comes to those Stronghold game types, only dropping one so far. So
well, two now.
Two now, you're correct. Only dropping those two game types in the same week as well. So, maybe one of those more of an off week than anything else. But with this being Capture Flight Coliseum, we've seen great sniping out of both of these teams here. A lot of it, as we see, every game type really just comes down to who is better at controlling those power weapons and making rotations. And then the difference between these two squads here was, Boo was able to kill Sniper and escape with the weapon, while Suspector and the rest of E6 was able to just rotate the weapon away consistently and keep it out of Allegiance hands.
Yeah, I'm looking for Shooter to step it up here on the side of Allegiance. Not like he's been playing bad or anything like that. I just feel like going against your old squad, I think that this is something that you don't want to go down 3-0, and this is a good game type to potentially get some weapons in your hand, maybe the rockets or something like that, and really try to make a statement. But it looks like everybody on the side of Allegiance is still pushed into their base, which is pretty interesting. And Suspector ends up just ground pounding off the map. He wasn't able to auto-stabilize as long as he actually would have thought here, and it looks like a little bit of push here from Kratos coming in on the elbow side. This is what he likes to do so well. Gets in towards the elbow, gets control of the scatter shot, doesn't have it in his back pocket right now, but we've seen E6 even going up against Luminosity when Luminosity had full control of snipe, had sniper rockets and everything, and E6 even pulled that flag elbow and ran it bottom center, and that's what they do so well.
Oh, and that's Predeminator with the sniper right now. I want to see if he's going to be able to do anything to make sure this flag gets returned. It looks like he will be able to assist Contra, who gets the return while he picks up a kill on Kratos. Now he gets the call out. There's a player here in Cave. A nade will pick up him. Great no scope here. This might be a double. You see the other two players on the outline. Now the multi-kill won't be there, but a flag opportunity might be. 3 alive for Enigma6. They're all trying to push out, get positions. Cody or Contra here needs to stay alive bottom mid, and Predeminator needs to cover it.
Well, Devin's in the power position, which is the cave, but unfortunately, you need a player that's going to be on top catwalk. So if he would have maybe rotated that sniper over towards the top catwalk area, he would have had the angles on the guys that were just walking up towards that rocket street or trying to escape. And then you have Contra that was under the base too, stuck no shield. So all in all, that's going to result in probably this flag not being able to make it very far unless they're able to get a couple more slays. But looks like Shooter's able to pick up a kill, and this flag's going to continue to get pushed in. Contra's going to be able to put that in. So Shooter, we're talking about how he needs to go big. And yeah, that was not a full stealth capture because it was brought halfway, but either way, that was really nice from Allegiance. I didn't think that they were going to be able to do it based on the positioning, but they were. Yeah,
Allegiance showing some life here in this game. You got the new rocket spawning. Kratos does not know, neither did these other 3 players, that there's somebody right behind him. Contra, free double kill, gets into this 1v1.
Ooh, that could have been the sick triple kill, but either way, still getting 2 kills and taking the other player to no shields. That's Boo that has to die instantly. If you're Allegiance, oh, Falcated with the no-scope to Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo's face. But still shooter dying with the flag, so the flag is going to be stopped there. Let's see if Falcon can continue to get any more slays here. Takes Stellar to no shield, switches over to his pistol, gets that kill here. This flag still is in play. Devin trying to keep this one alive, gets a kill onto Kratos. Let's see if he's able to get the touch.
Yeah, it looks like nobody on the return here quite yet. That touch will happen. 2 players over by Fountain, but good position by Falcated. Rocket by Predevinator does grab the kill. That's a second one from him. That flag is still out. This is looking really scary for Enigma6. Allegiance is coming out strong.
Where was this confidence from Allegiance earlier? You can tell that they're fighting for their lives here. They know that they're down 2-0 in the series. Every single kill matters so much. As I'm saying that, E6 just slowly clutches that one and plays that one off the radar, and that's genius there. Sure, last guy alive, picking up a double kill though, so that kind of resets things here for the Allegiance squad. But that was just a really nice job by E6. Again, I was talking about how slow they were playing that one. A lot of times when that flag is pulled out and it's at that halfway mark, teams will panic and just go crazy. But they were just communicating, making sure that they weren't not valuing their lives, and that's exactly how you want to play this one.
In a great position. You know, essentially the most lines of sight you have on the map come from when you are top catwalk and have that sniper rifle. He's doing a good job dodging some grenades here. He was getting shot at from Rocket Bridge, so he's trying to take a look, see where this player exactly was. He's doing a good job. His frag nade will actually do some damage to that player, but Falcated with a kill on Stellar is putting himself in a good position for Allegiance to take out Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo. That's going to be the sniper rifle down. Suspector grabs these rockets and is trying to run away, but will in fact die as well. Stellar's gonna try to grab these here. We'll go on board with him and see if he's able to do anything. Starts wasting the rockets as best he can. 1 kill or 1 flag cap lead still for Allegiance. Enigma6 does have a good opportunity to push out with these rockets, but another whiffed one as Falcated takes his face off.
This entire time, Contra has been in the enemy team's cave, and E6 just sitting there, laying down pistol shots on these guys, getting another perfect onto Kratos, while Falcated just sitting there with the sniper watching these angles. So I love the way Falcated's aware of his teammates' positioning, also where the spawns are going to be, and doesn't just immediately rotate towards the cave. I love this play coming out from Falcated, picking up 2 kills here. Another player is running that flag out. If they can get one more slay, they should be able to get this flag in.
Falcated starts getting shot at. There's a player still in windows, getting collapsed on. Needs to hit these shots, only grabs one of them, and that's Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo once again. Going clutch and grabbing these kills here. Grabs a second one. That's going to be 2 players down now for Allegiance. You can see him spawning in the corner. Falcated gets punished for his missed no-scope from the same sniper rifle he gave up to Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo. Wow, he makes it.
Someone missed a very crucial shot on a Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo there. So that should be a cap here coming out for E6, unless anyone is pushing over towards the elbow. That's going to be Devin, but he's not going to be there quick enough to get the touch. So tied up here, E6 up 2-0 in the series with the sniper rifle in their hands. And that's scary for Allegiance because they've been playing this map so well and it's still tied up. And you have to at least string something together, which they weren't able to do in Plaza. And it looks like that's what they're not able to do yet so far in this Coliseum game. So that second capture could have went out. It could be 2-1 here for Allegiance, but instead they are facing a pretty big deficit here. I like the way that they're playing it. They are having good control when it comes to the cave. They're just not able to get that flag in and keep that flag guy alive.
3 members in E6's base. Allegiance doing a pretty good job now of starting to collapse on these teammates. Predevinator kind of trapped in the corner by himself, does grab 1 kill. Kratos able to escape and grab the rockets. Predevinator got a stick here as well. That's going to be 1 dead for each team, and you can just see Allegiance kind of heavily outslaying Enigma6 to start this.
They are. They've been getting the necessary slays they need. They just haven't been able to keep the flag guy alive, and that's what's scary. They've had map positioning for majority of this game, and it hasn't really meant much. So they need to just get someone into the window, just like they're doing right now. So I really do like this play. This is a big 1v1 though. Oh, Stellar with the perfect shots onto Contra. That was the flanker that's now going to be able to get this flag out pretty far, but Falcated does get that kill onto Stellar. So let's see if Allegiance is able to answer with a flag pull of their own.
Shooter trying to do what he can to challenge here on Snipe's side, but he gets taken out. Stellar's been having a great game and a lot of great shots as well. Now, it looks like it's Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo, however, that was able to grab that sniper rifle, so we'll see what he's able to do with this weapon.
Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo just has his snipe radar enabled or something like that. Every time that sniper rifle's been down, typically dropped by Contra, who actually headshots as we mentioned his name. So Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo in perfect position, just like Falcated was able to watch these elbow spawns. Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo not missing any shots when the opportunity arises. Sees another player in front of him. That's going to be Contra taking out a no shield. Stellar does get that kill. He wasn't aware, though, Boo was, that a couple players had made their way over towards the elbow already. Either way, they still do get that capture, and a couple players here on the Allegiance side need to be careful because Boo's still aware that they're making their way into the base.
And now, although the first flag cap does go over to Allegiance, it's Enigma6 who answers back with 2. Kind of a bad trade for Boo. You kind of want to back up more, maybe wait for your teammates there. Good chance you were able to stay alive if you didn't go for the melee. But regardless, Enigma6 is playing some great defense.
Yeah, they're able to play good defense and good offense. They've been able to secure these flag captures when Allegiance hasn't been able to walk their flag guy back. You have to have an escort for that flag guy, just in case someone's going in for the pull, gets the touch. You need to sit on that double return, at least make sure that you can run the flag if he dies after that. So let's see if Allegiance has an answer. It starts with getting those rockets. As I was saying, Shooter is going to be one of those primary guys to go for those things. They have been able to get the slays. It's just E6, their execution in terms of the objective has been great.
And you got the players here from Allegiance spawning up again now near the elbow here on Rocket's side. Spectre just playing it really slow, making sure everyone does spawn, no one sneaks by. Now with Kratos dying in the corner here, that's Contra with the Rockets. Does he not know that Spectre's behind him though? Oh, but it works out.
He was trying to go for the Spartan charge, but he wasn't sprinting long enough for the Spartan charge to come into there, and he could have easily just grenaded or switched over to his plasma and gone for the stick there, but ended up just going for the back smack, and that one didn't pay off. So Contra trying to use this last rocket to get some sort of momentum here for Allegiance. They are down 2-0 in the series and 2-1 in this game. Getting a nice kill onto Kratos, that's a good start. Picking up the double kill, also evading some grenades, so keeping his shields is big. Looking for the overkill, can he land it? Oh, Shooter steals that one. So that could have been a nasty clip for Contra, but he doesn't really care about that. He just needs to get this flag.
Right, and good positioning. Contra dropping below the base, picks up a no-shields guy, gets the call out that there's another one bottom center. As soon as this player dies, this is a good opportunity for them to tie up this game. Not a whole lot of time left. Of course, if we are tied at the end of regulation, it will go to a 3-minute overtime. That would put it at the next flag capture to win the game. And with that being said, 2.5 minutes left here, and it is 2-2.
Contra doing serious work, going on an amazing spree here with the battle rifle, looking for more on Boo. Sick thrust, but Boo gets the better of him with the pistol. That is going to open up the map, though, for Allegiance. Let's see what Shooter's going to be able to do. I don't know what Shooter's necessarily looking at there. That's a pretty easy kill there if someone's able to finish that last shot off, but that's a little bit worrisome. You know, we do have the player outlines. Maybe Shooter got a call out that someone was coming around his elbow, or maybe he's just aware that that's a really popular position that Kratos likes to push. But either way, Devin picking up a couple kills here, and you can see Allegiance just starting to turn it on.
Devinator back with the sniper now, trying to get in the cave. Does grab a body shot. That's Rockets in hands of Contra. So that's a lot of power weapons. How he's rushing up really quickly with no health and sniper rifle. I don't necessarily like that one. Now we'll go and take a look here with Contra. He's got 2 rockets left in this gun. Misses the first one. Nobody in position to run that flag immediately. You do have a player now in window who gets it over to the maze, and it is going across. That does look like it might be it here for them as well. Devinator escorting the flag in, cutting off the angle side, and you can see it is home to score, and just like that, we got ourselves a series.
This is exactly what we're talking about, and it was all about Contra, really. Yeah, Shooter went big as well, both 25 kills for these guys. Even Devin stepping it up with 2 flag caps, but, you know, still on E6's side, Boo going big. But that's really impressive for Allegiance to show the resilience that these guys have, because they were down 2-1. Contra going in, getting that triple kill, looking for that overkill, and that was the huge momentum swing for Allegiance. And if they continue to play like this, moving into Empire Strongholds, we could see another Game 5.
I mean, and looking at those slays, that is heavily outslayed. Was that 22 kills benefiting Allegiance here for a 1 flag cap victory? So that is, you know, not good if you're Allegiance here. That just means their execution on the flag runs are not as effective as Enigma6, and that's something they're really going to have to work on.
Well, it's just E6 was playing really annoying defense, similar to how, you know, any type of Lunchbox and Roy team would play, where they always set up in the back of the base, make sure that they're waiting for each other as they're the last guy alive, waiting for the numbers advantage once they get the pick and push out. And that was smart by E6. They played it really well. But either way, I'm still impressed with Allegiance that when they needed to go back and secure the captures and get the slays, they were able to. And you could see how tough that second capture was for Allegiance. Contra had to go in here, not miss any shots, and even then he was still having to get slays as this flag was being pulled. But either way, they still got the weapons, they controlled the rockets, they controlled the sniper, and they got the caps that they needed to.
I mean, really good job by Allegiance being able to just outslay them that heavily. especially it's going to be one of the more outslayed games that I feel like I've seen here in Pro League, especially considering how close it was. We did have a couple of games where the team that was outslayed was able to pull off some victories, especially, considering Team Envious and how many times they were able to do that during the summer season. But wow, outslaying a team that hard, getting that first capture, having so many of the rockets and so many of the new snipers, and still having it be that close is scary or worrisome.
I rather win a game and outslay the other team than win a game and not outslay the other team. I know that it is all about whoever has the most flag captures moving forward, but I'm more focused on how good Devin and Contra were shooting. They have some of the best individual, mechanics in the game in terms of how they move their reticle around the map, their map positioning, how they actually move around the map in terms of how they strafe and shoot at the same time. So I'm looking to see if they're able to continue to do so in this Empire Strongholds. And keep in mind, Allegiance is fantastic at this game type.
Yeah, I mean, it is a Strongholds that we're going into. If this goes to a Game 5 and we see anything like we've seen from this squad here in the past, I don't even know what to say. It would be truly the Game 5 lineup, especially if they fall in that series. But either way, Enigma6, Bubu has been playing out of his mind as well.
Yes, Bubu has been consistent. He was playing fantastic last week, is playing fantastic again this week. And if you end up winning this game in your Allegiance, this could be the turning point for them for the season, where we see them do a reverse sweep and then possibly winning a Game 5. So this could mean so much there for the momentum. And then if you're E6, we've seen them already get reverse sweep before. If they get reverse sweep again, we're talking team change, Kyle.
All right, and we're going to start off this one with Falcated here. We've seen a lot of great things from him. Also some pretty big missed opportunities, whether or not it's a betrayal or anything around that nature here. But a good job contesting and setting up for the overshield. A quick 2 kills going over to Falcated, but nobody contesting the pit, and that's already over to Enigma6. And rather than capturing their own red base, they're going to push all the way across the map and immediately go after blue.
That's a little bit worrisome for Allegiance because they did go for outside. However, they're able to retake the pit. So whoever that was, Kratos, not contesting that one. They do get the slays that they need to possibly retake this one, but you never want to give pit up so easily after you're able to capture that one. And even while they did have the pit, they didn't have the side bases either, so they weren't able to capture any points that entire time. So let's see if Bubu in this Saw can at least get the pit back into their favor. But as you can see, the reset already coming back in, and no matter how many slays you get, there's always an opportunity for these guys to get back on off the respawn and just chuck grenades into that pit. Either way, only 9 points for Allegiance's first setup.
Right, great job for Enigma6 recapturing that pit. Now Allegiance is trying to take it back. There's going to be a quick battle here near top of the tower. Both players are backing down with that thrust, but that's because the Contra has help in the form of Shooter coming into the base. Now it looks like Kratos is going to get caught out in front of it. That's a perfect shot by Shooter to pick up that, get another kill here for him. Now assist coming in with the help of Contra. There's going to be 2 dead for Enigma6. What a Splinter Nade. Why would you thrust there? He kind of did the only thing that he could do to, in fact, die in that situation. Great nades coming out from Allegiance here still. That's going to force Kratos back. The control's still in their favor. No one's in the pit yet. They do not have to make a move until someone's actually about to secure that next capture.
This is a big fight. Everyone making their way outside because this is the retake strategy typically. You can see Stellar over there in that tower. You just want to leave that guy or at least try to take that guy to scope so he can't lay the DMR shots down from the tower to outside because the overshield's coming up here soon. So you see everyone just jockeying for position, and E6 able to walk away with that fight. Everyone that's going to be getting on spawn for Allegiance is going to fight back out here, but it shouldn't be too hard for E6 to just hold this fan area, and that's exactly what they're doing. And while they have this pit control, there's no need to even make their way over towards that area. But oh, Kratos, what is he doing? Ends up thrusting off the map right when the overshield comes up, and Devin's able to pick it up.
That is going to be a big turn of events. Enigma6 was doing such a great job of contesting and essentially winning that outdoor battle, but it almost looked like they didn't have a great time on that overshield and were trying to set up just too early. And Allegiance had essentially a second respawn coming off to try and contest that and actually secure that, putting it in Devinator's hands.
And look how big that overshield and misplay coming up for Kratos was. Devinator, like you said, Kyle, able to grab the overshield. Triple cap now going over for Allegiance. And after that momentum from that first game, this is their setup that they need to hold for a really long time. You can't afford to just hold 9 points like they did in that very first setup here in the Empire Strongholds. You have to hold it for at least 30, 40, 50 points, maybe even the rest of the game like we see top teams like Optic do.
All right, nobody in the hills yet, so Allegiance's main goal here is to just stay alive. Contra does fall in top tower. That's going to put the very first person, or Kratos, in the pit. Now, walking onto a saw, a little present there for Falcated. He will be able to get the reset here. Several members pushing into the basement. He gets dropped. That's 3, or now 2 members left here in the hill. What a splitter nade.
It was all up to Contra, and Contra had to go in desperate towards the pit as the last guy alive. So Stellar picking up a big double kill, open up the map for E6, and that's what I was talking about for Allegiance. That was their opportunity to hold this for a really long time, and they aren't able to capitalize. And yeah, that's a nice play getting the backsmack on that player, but it's not going to mean much because you don't have pit control.
All right, now Allegiance does pick up blue base stronghold here, but Enigma6 still racking up the time. It's going to be a little bit before that next overshield comes up. I think it was in the high 30s that we saw that one grabbed here previously. New saw is getting ready to pop as well, but no players from either team currently set up in the tower.
Bubudubu ends up getting a little bit overextended, does trade kills there with Contra, so it's not the end of the world for E6, but you want to try to at least stay alive as long as possible. Even if you do trade kills, again, it's not that bad because you do have pit control, you do have positional advantage. Overshield coming up though soon, can't afford to give any deaths, and you can see that that player did just die to a barrel, so the overshield did pop right around that 40 area, gets picked up at 38. Stellar getting a kill onto Devin, who actually had the previous overshield, and now we're going to see a triple cap coming out from E6. 52 points, so this is going to be very, very hard for Allegiance to be able to even come back in this game. They're going to easily be able to stop this bleeding here on that red base, but as soon as they get that red base, they're going to have to be forced to push out towards the pit or the opposite side base, and Kratos in perfect position just to flood in.
They might lose this hill again now that they had 2 members push out while 2 were still left in the base. Now 2 members of Enigma6 kind of counteracting that play by immediately pushing in. That's going to be another triple cap here in their favor, and as you can see in the player outlines, Spectre still across the map at blue base, ready to contest that one.
Yeah, and it's not looking good here for Allegiance. They had a really good opportunity when they had their own triple cap, and you can see just how many points you can rack up when that's the case. And this is going to be big for Kratos to get in here and get the contention. Picks up a double kill, looking for the triple kill. Will he be able to get the overkill on Falcated? Crouching over here towards that blue sneaky. Falcated ends up backing off because he's the last guy alive. And it looks like that's the right play to do there. You don't ever want to give up an overkill towards the enemy team, especially when they're so close to winning here. So able to capture the side bases, but again, E6 taking back their own side base here, and only 1 or 2 pushes here for the Allegiance squad before this game and series is over.
All right, now Allegiance doing their best to possibly get back into this one, but Enigma6 is still looking really, really strong. Stellar using the Splinter Nade pretty effectively, just trying to push Falcated back. Great job here, bouncing around, and is able to stay alive.
Those first shots look good, but those last shots, I don't know. Those are some forced shots there to try to win the game at the end, and if they can contest this, this is pretty much going to be game over. It's the last push. That one does get contested. Devin does get a double kill here. Only 1 player alive. That's going to be Bubudubu, so it's not quite over yet. Bubudubu doesn't contest that one. He tried to, but again, he was the last guy alive, so this one isn't over. We've seen crazier comebacks before.
I mean, and that comeback did come from Allegiance that we've seen as well. Contra with the saw still has a lot of ammo left in this weapon. Now the new overshield is getting ready to come up any second. You got a member of Enigma6 is chilling back, and Bubudubu predicts Contra and then grabs the saw, or will eventually grab the saw as soon as he's able to find that. New overshield is up. It looks like that was Shooter that just ran over to grab that weapon. They're getting some time back on the board here, but this is not a good position to be in. Bubudubu essentially has blue base on lockdown with this saw, and the rest of Enigma6 needs to focus on controlling this tower area. Looks like Bubudubu will respond to the call out and pick up a kill there. Allegiance needs to play perfect Halo from here on out if they have any chance of bringing this one back.
You could see just how patient Bubudubu was playing, but Shooter was playing even more patient, and all in all, 30 seconds later, still has a decent percentage left on his overshield. And that's just as I say that, he does get taken down. So that is a good, decent job, though, by Shooter. Getting that overshield, staying alive, getting the triple cap here for Allegiance. Let's see if they're able to rack up some more points.
Stellar here trying to escape, but getting caught by different players, different groups of splinter nades. What isn't able to do anything here. Spectre does spot a player outside the map, gets a little bit of help, and decides just to back down as he's not able to secure the kill. A lot of action happening here in the turbine, and Spectre drops That's a 30, only a 30-point deficit here now from Allegiance. They haven't even been close to losing these strongholds now. Of course, they did have that overshield benefiting them to actually pick up that first secure, but they're making a comeback.
This is the first time we've actually seen E6 group and formulate a plan. Until then, they just realized that they had a nice lead and they could just try to charge out and out-muscle everybody on Allegiance. But now that they see that the score and their lead is slowly starting to deteriorate, they're starting to form a plan here and work together. But it's Allegiance, on the other hand, just ready for these guys to push out. They know the strategy. Everyone knows, go outside. All you have to do is just not overextend here, hold that fan area, wait for this next overshield to come up. And if Allegiance is able to secure this next overshield, they can make a magnificent comeback.
And Contra didn't see the player jump directly over his head. That's
no.
3 outside now. Oh, Predominator.
Devin getting a nice double kill, looking for the triple kill. That's going to be Stellar that he's fighting, so Stellar gets that big kill. Overshield dropping any second here. No one on the side of Allegiance in position to stop this one, but it looks like no one on E6 knows when that overshield is coming up, so they're all just waiting outside for this one, and the pit still hasn't been captured quite yet. So again, that's going to be Kratos picking up the overshield. Kratos is actually making his way towards a side base, towards blue, instead of making his way over towards the pit. So an interesting change of strategy coming in for E6. They only need 8 points. Let's see if it works.
Right, looks like great job here by Enigma6 picking up that kill. They're going to grab or regain control of the map. I would have kind of liked to see Allegiance just focus on going after red base.
This is it right here. This is the big fight. If they're able to get this kill, they need to watch the pit though. So there's 2 players out here fighting for the blue base. Devin's trying to hold the pit while his other teammates are capturing that blue base. Let's see if he's able to. Boo Boo Doo getting that nice kill. No one's going to be in position, so the payoff works. Kratos with the nice play, grabbing the overshield and then making his way towards the side base. Really threw off the players of Allegiance and Contra. Not watching his radar, his Suspector ends up picking up 2 kills right next to him under his nose, and that's going to be E6 with the 3-1 victory over Allegiance.
Yeah, I mean, Allegiance really started to put up a good fight that game, but they did give up a lot of missed opportunities. They did give up the overshields at the end. They weren't able to focus, or trying to contest the blue base rather than going over and actually just killing or trading strongholds, going after blue base when the opponents are going after red base. There's a lot more contesting rather than trading. And that's one of the reasons we've seen so few strongholds captured in these games. There's a lot more contesting going on rather than trading.
And I'm not sure where everyone was positionally when Kratos made his push in towards the side base, but if that's the case, maybe we'll just want to give up that side base and say, hey, he has the overshield in there. We need to just relocate, just focus on getting that pit, and then go to the opposite side base, which was the red side. But either way, E6, they were very, very flawless in terms of their execution. When they got the setups, they did a really great job. Their only weaknesses when Allegiance went on that really nice run, yeah, they lost UTF Coliseum, but in the Empire Strongholds game, it didn't seem like they necessarily had a formulated plan towards getting back outside and pushing together. But again, when you're up by like 60 points and only need 8 more points to go, you can let your foot off the gas a little bit. So I'm assuming that that's what the E6 squad did, and this is going to be one of the first losses for Allegiance that didn't go to 5 games.
Yeah, you're right. And they really showed a lot of great things in that Capture the Flag game. You could see just how heavy that Contra and Predominator can slay for that team. But we do have a winner view here coming up from Enigma6. We are being joined by Kratos.
There he is.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
What's up, dude? Congratulations on the win, and it was a pretty dominating win for you guys. Were you expecting that series to be a little bit closer, or did you guys feel that you're ready to handle them like you did?
Yeah, I mean, I think it went exactly how we thought it would go. We match up against them pretty well. They're like a very skillful team, and my 3 teammates are like really skillful. So I thought we would close it out 3-1. Well, I agreed with that.
All right, now do you think that was the same pace that Allegiance has been playing at during the rest of the season? Because it really looked like they tried to slow things down and essentially play a game similar to how you guys play, which is aggressive only at opportunities and when you need to. Do you feel like they were playing their game, or were they trying to, change up their strategies here?
I haven't watched that much of Allegiance gameplay this season, to be honest, other than like when Game 5s. But I mean, I think they played really good. I mean, that Coliseum game, they were super patient and pushed us at the end and like beat us in like 2 minutes once they started capping or something like that.
So Boo Boo Doo has been, everyone really has been playing fantastic on your team, but I want to talk a little bit about Boo Boo Doo now. What can you say about him and the rest of your teammates and why you guys been able to, have this nice little run here? Again, last season you guys went on a really fantastic run, but what is it about Boo Boo Doo specifically that's been able to, make him kind of shine here in the last week or two?
I mean, kid's the best liver in the game. Like he just lives. I don't know. He makes huge plays for us, really important. I mean, you can always just count on him to do something clutch. Like you know what you get from me. You know what you get from like a Stellar and a Suspector. But like Jesse, like he sparks up the game for us, and it gives us like an edge usually. With a double kill, like a double kill you shouldn't get. That's what he does for us. Like a double kill, and then we collapse.
And then I do have one more question here for you as well. Now, I think you guys were outslayed by something like 22 kills on the Coliseum Capture the Flag game, but still able to essentially keep it extremely close all the way. It's still easily a winnable game for you guys the entire time. What's that like in game? Did you know like how heavily you guys were being outslayed, and was there any kind of doubts in your guys' mind during that game?
I mean, we started off the game really well, so that's why it might have. I mean, we capped 2 first. It was like 2-1 or something, and then that's when they got snipe control, and we just weren't doing a good job. We just constantly say like, let's get snipe, and sometimes we don't, and sometimes I mean, when you have like, we're all pro players, so the other team obviously when they pick up a power weapon, they're gonna use it to its full effect, and when they're hitting shots, there's not much you can do. You just hope and pray for opening. And we didn't get an opening at the end of that game. They were just killing us and killing us and killing us.
All right. Well, Kratos, a pleasure speaking to you again here. Thanks for taking time out of your day. Wish you the best of luck here tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll be seeing more from you guys.
Thanks. Shout out to E6. Peace.
Shout out to E6. I mean, if you had to choose somebody that is a diehard E6 fan, you can't go anybody but Kratos.
Yeah, for sure. And these guys, they played fantastic last season, and we had some questions on what was going to happen. They had been dealing with some things. Those things are in the past, hopefully for them, and they're all starting to focus on playing Halo, and you could see Boo Boo Doo Boo, he's a good liver. So, and that's very similar to Pistola and a lot of these guys that have eventually made their way up towards the top. And I have a feeling that we're going to continue to see some fantastic things from him.
I couldn't agree more there with you, Tom. But of course, we want to hear from you at home. So if you like what you see and you want to participate or maybe even get some of your tweets shown here on stream as well, make sure you tweet using the hashtag HCS or tweet at HCS or at ESL Halo. And of course, Tom and I will also be able to take a look at your clips or take a look at your tweets, excuse me.
You can send us clips if you want.
More clips. I love looking at clips.
Especially if you're embarrassing this guy. We want to see those clips.
I have been playing Halo a lot lately. Tom, we might be on for some games here later this weekend.
Let's do it. I'm down.
All right, good deal. Now, of course, we have more exciting matches coming up here next, including our match of the week. So we're going to take a short break. And coming up next, we have Optic Gaming battling it out against Team Envious. So don't go anywhere.
Hostiles captured Red Base.